which goes to the other piece that I wanted to talk about is acquisition. So that's been, the growth strategy that you have used through the years is acquisition. Walk me through and just share with, our audience, when you are acquiring a company, what are the important pieces? How do you merge? And, one, how do you know that it's going to be a good fit? And two, how do you ensure that it's a good fit? What are the steps that you're taking to make sure that your culture and their culture, are meshed?
It's funny. One of the first things we do when we get an opportunity across our desk, on my desk, and I get a lot of them that, just, for whatever reason, it's neither the timing isn't good or we got something else going on. But, I get, several a week. And if I see one that I think might be a good opportunity, I'll reach out to the broker that's representing that company, and they'll send over, some information, numbers, it's at that point, it's usually fairly high level. It's a lot of confidentiality, in this process. And within the first couple steps, I want to have a sit down, lately virtually, with the owner.
Right.
I want to have a conversation and just talk like you and I are talking here today, and just, general, I generally, and my two brothers generally participate in that as well. And we try to get a sense of their business philosophy, and how they run their company. That'll generally give us a pretty good idea, how the culture of that company is. And we always integrate our acquisition into Leonard's. I mentioned the last one was a little bit larger than the typical one. We actually, and I had nothing to do with this. It was my middle brother, Kevin, and a group that he took out to Idaho. They changed the name on 165 trucks, and I think in about 5 days, which is a very, it's a lot of work.
Sure.
And, so it's important that, we have, a strong compatibility from a culture perspective, and our culture is, it's each location kind of has their own subculture, just because of where they are in the country. But, it's a general culture of doing things the right way, doing what's right, even if it's not easy. And, when we're looking for people that, have the same mindset, we have a little over 700 trucks on the road, so that's a lot of opportunity for things to go wrong if we're not thinking about safety first. We're going to do it safely regardless of, if we're late because of weather, and we stop to get out of the weather, or if, if traffic's backed up and, we're not going to take a back road just to get around traffic. If the interstate's the safest way, we want to operate as a safe company, and, and it's a priority. And when we look at, acquisitions, besides meeting with the owner and the culture, trying to get a gauge on the culture, we also look at some of the publicly available safety information on them, just, to make sure that they have that same value. So
that's great. When you look at, you and your brothers get together right now, what would you say over the next 12 to 18 months is your top priority today?
Probably, in the last several months, trucking's gotten a little bit more challenging. I mentioned, it's, I get a lot of the local press comes to me when the fuel prices go up, and how are you dealing with it? Because they know we use a lot of fuel, and we do. But I worry more when the price of fuel goes up, because our contracts are all tied to fuel, so that, what we charge our customer goes up as the price goes up, and then subsequently goes down, and they're going to pass that on to their customers, and inflation has an impact on, our economy, and trucking especially, is most everything, that you use or consume at one point or another is on a truck, maybe several times. And, as our costs go up and we pass them on, and other costs go up, from other directions, people's dollars don't go quite as far. and you throw in that we're a capital intensive business, with high interest rates, that's, both are creating challenges. And, we think we've put ourselves into a very strong position. But I think that's probably going to be the focus, is just make sure that, our costs are in line, and, and that everybody's on the same page, that, we're still going to do things the right way, and we're still going to, maintain our values. And, it may be a little more challenging than it was last year, but probably next year will be a little bit better. And, we work hard to put ourselves into that position. We always look at acquisitions. Sometimes it's not the right one, but you can't time your opportunities, and, they come at you when, when they come at you, and, we'll just have to decide whether it's the right time, to take a look, or, if we want to wait a little bit, there'll be other opportunities if we decide to pass. So.
Right. What else? This has been fabulous. You shared an awful lot, and just like your vision of how you do things. I'm telling you, I don't know how many business books you've read through the years, but you're pulling them right out. The people side of things is Jim Collins all day. Get the right people on the bus, get the wrong people off, get them doing the right things, and measure it. And it's something, you've got KPIs for everything. When you're down to pennies on the dot, on the mile, you're really tracking the KPIs at a really good level. That's nice.
Well, besides having a very influential industry leader in my father, I haven't read a lot of the books. I've read some of the books that you're referring to, but one of my favorite things to do is read books about successful business owners. And over the years, I've actually, the last book I read in paper was Steve Jobs' book. And I went
fabulous
after,
book.
Yeah, it was. And after reading that, I went out and bought an iPad, and everyone's since been on electronically. So, I guess it worked. But yeah, it's, and I think that, we all have our own leadership style, but, we're influenced by the people we're around and the people that we admire, and, our mentors, so, it's worked for us. And I'd like to think that, my two brothers and I, we kind of have complementary leadership styles, and complementary strengths. I think that's one thing, that's helped us as a family company transition successfully, is that, we all have different strengths and different areas of interest, so we're not, tripping over each other. It's, you go do this, you go do that, and I'll do this, and we'll circle back at the end of the day, and see how things went.